Hello. So, I want to tell a story about when I decided to quit drinking because it's getting very loud in my head about you need to say this because someone needs to hear it. It will help somebody. So, back in 2013, I had been blessed with talking to my daughter, who I'd had to give up for adoption when she was born. And she found me on Facebook years later. And this is probably back in 2012 that she found me. And we had a relationship and we were talking. And it was great, but it wasn't because I was still in active addiction. And I didn't see it. And but she was seeing it when we would talk. She doesn't live in the state, so when we would talk, she would, get the side of me that's not so nice, and obviously, that was not a version of me that she was interested in. So she made the tough decision to call it off and say, "Hey, I can't be around you with this behavior, with this addiction," and she just cut off our relationship. So that devastated me because, in essence, I had lost her twice in my life. And that's a whole other story about how I longed and wanted to see her all those years. And all I thought about was her, and slept with my phone under my pillow. And so I can still remember sobbing and crying and talking to my mother on the phone about how horrible that felt. So fast forward a little bit, and lots of synchronicities, lots of signs were coming up. Things were coming up at work, and just there's just so many things that came up that were really telling me it is time to stop. And mind you, I had been drinking since I was 11, and I was 47. So 36 years of active drinking. Now, that wasn't horrible the whole time. I was a functional alcoholic. I had a job and such, but it was taking a toll on myself and all my relationships. And so I don't know what happened, but one day, it was a Friday, I had gone out and I had drinks with some friends after work, and I stopped at my little convenience store, got my 2 bottles of wine, like I always did every day. At that point, it was 2 bottles of wine at least, or a half a bottle of liquor. I mean, but it was pretty much 2 bottles of wine. And I went outside on the back porch and I sat those bottles of wine down on my table, and I broke up with them. And I said, you know what? This relationship has reached its end. And I was actually in gratitude for those bottles of wine, for that alcohol, because it had helped get me through some of the toughest times of my life, but it had also created some of the worst times of my life. And, my health was horrible at that point. I had lost so much weight. I was throwing up every day. I was sick. So I sat down. I talked to those bottles of wine like they were people that I was having a challenging relationship with. And I said, again, I appreciate you getting me through what you got me through, but this relationship is no longer functional. And I'm ending this relationship. And I don't know what happened, but that act of doing that did something in my mind, and drank both those bottles of wine, went to bed, woke up feeling like crap the next day, and I have not had a drink ever since. And that was June 7th, or June 6th was the last day, June 6th, 2014. So hopefully that will help somebody that needs to hear that now, because that was a really difficult part of my life. Now, I will tell you that getting sober was kind of the easy part, that part there. I always thought that I couldn't live life without drinking, that it wouldn't be fun, but it's so much more fun. It's so much easier in some respects. I will say that sometimes being able to see and feel everything is a challenge, but I have developed different techniques in my journey over the last however many years, 9 years, that include like breath work and meditation and journaling and talking to people. And I'll save those for other videos, but I just want to let you know that it's possible, and maybe that's a technique that will help you. Stay well. Hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.